Okay. The first thing that we're going to look at is what happens when I have an exponent on a parentheses. Does anyone remember what happens? How many of the things does this exponent apply to? All of the things. So that -4 will be attached to both of those. So I can do 2 to the -4 n to the -4 times 2 and -4. Okay, the thing is, because this is all just straight multiplication, we can tackle this in a lot of different orders, because with multiplication, order doesn't matter. So this is just one way to do it. It's not the way to do it, because there are multiple ways that we can do it. The first thing that I see is all of these negative exponents. Who remembers what happens with negative exponents? Anybody? Yeah, fraction. So all this is technically over 1 right now, and so all of my negative exponents are going to come down. So we have a 2 left on top. When they move, they become positive. So 2 to the 4th, n to the 4th times n to the 4th. So let's just simplify the bottom. How many n's are currently on the bottom? 4 here, 4 there. That's 8 of them. If I have 1, 2 on top and I have 4 on the bottom, I just think of it, the technical rule is like, oh, you subtract your exponents and all that jazz. I just think of it as what cancels out. So if I was to cancel these 2's, how many 2's would be left where? One of them cancels here, and then there would then be 3 on the bottom. So I get 2 cubed. If everything cancels in one of the spots, we're going to leave it as a 1. And then I'm just going to simplify 2 cubed. Like, my policy, if it is a manageable thing to simplify, like if it's 6 to the 7th, I do not care what that number is. But if it's 2 to the 3rd, that's a lot more manageable, and that would give me 8. Anyone have a question on this? Talk about throwback. Yeah. Okay, let's go to another example. Okay. Let's do 57. Here's the thing, all of these rules are the same, just now we have fractions. So when I have these p's next to each other, I can either add their exponents now, I can move the negative first and then cancel stuff out. Which path would you like to move on? Just let me know. Where do you want to go? Add them together? All right, so I'm going to take these, I'm going to go -3/2 plus 1/2. I get -2/2, which is the same as -1. So I know I have p to the -1. Well, let's take care of this 4 times 2. I get 8. I see I have a negative exponent, so we're just going to change its spot. So I get 8 over p. Same idea on 59. Like, I can think about the canceling, but when it gets to fractions, it's a little bit harder to think about it as canceling. So in this situation, if we have 1 on top and 1 on bottom, we can just subtract our exponents. So I can go 2/3 minus 2. Bless you. Bless you again. You have a choice if you want to do this by hand or if you want to do it in a calculator. I personally do not care. Would you like to see how to do it in a calculator? I see a lot of nodding heads. If you have a fraction with the calculator, just type it in parentheses. So I'm going to go parentheses 2 divided by 3 minus 2. I see you get a decimal here. But our answer was given in fractions, so we want to keep it as fractions. So if I hit this math button, which is right under the alphabet, hit math, frac means fraction, and I have a -4/3. So this gives us 2a to the -4/3 over 3. Anytime you do this subtraction method, the default position of your variable is going to be on top in the numerator. We don't like negatives, so it becomes 2 over 3a to the 4/3. Okay, the last one I want to go over together is 61. X to the 0. Anyone remember what anything to the 0 power is? It is 1 times 1 to the -3/4. Well, 1 to any power, any idea what it's going to be? It's just going to be 1. So this is like x 3/2 times 1. It's just x to 3/2.